Hello students, in this chapter of agriculture, today we will discuss about the technological and institutional reforms, Bhudan or Gramdan, the contribution of agriculture and the impact of globalization on agriculture. So first we will start with the technological reforms. Under technological reforms, here you can see the first point mentioned over there is collectivization. When we talk of the word collectivization, it means to consolidate individual land and labor into collective farms. Then comes consolidation of the holdings. So when we talk of this word consolidation of holdings, it means that the redistribution of all or any of the lands in an estate or subdivision of an estate so as to reduce the number of the plots. Then third comes your cooperation. That means that all of us will become together and then we will fight or we will strive for any kind of a problem. Then comes abolition of the zamindari system. Zamindari system because at that time the farmers were not getting any benefit under this system. Whatever the farmer invested were going to the zamindars. So the main motive was to stop the exploitation of the farmers. Besides that, few agricultural reforms were being introduced. You can see here the Green Revolution and the White Revolution. When we talk about the Green Revolution that was launched in 1961 to 68 for acquiring more area for the cultivation. Its main objective was to improve agricultural productivity and expanding irrigation facilities, use of HYV seeds, that is high yielding variety of seeds, implementing better technology, water management. Then comes your White Revolution. The White Revolution, it was also known as Operation Flood. It was started in 1970. The main objective was to create a nationwide milk grid and to reduce malpractices by the milk traders and the merchants. Then comes your institutional reforms. So when we talk about it, the first thing mentioned is the provision for crop insurance against drought, flood, cyclone, fire and diseases. That means the farmers were being given this kind of a provision that there would be some crop insurance over there whenever any natural calamity was being there, and the farmers were the first one to get affected by the drought, flood, cyclone, fire and the diseases. Second thing, establishment of the Grameen, that means village banks and cooperative societies. Third, banks were providing loan facilities to the farmers at lower rate of interest. Then some other schemes were also being started over there, that were your Kisan credit card. Here you can see a glimpse of the Kisan credit card, and here you can see the farmer is toiling the land over there. Then personal insurance accident scheme. So when we talk of the word KCC, Kisan credit card, on this Kisan credit card, the different farmers were getting loan to purchase the various kind of agricultural implements. Personal insurance accident scheme, any kind of a accident can happen or mishappening. Maybe the farmer gets wounded or anything. For this purpose, personal insurance accident scheme was being started. Then special weather bulletins and agricultural programs were introduced on TV and radio. You all must be aware of some of the programs like Krishi Darshan, etc., which runs on TV and radio like Doordarshan and many other channels. So in this way, announcement of minimum support price so that the farmers get benefits over there. Then we talk about the Bhudan or Gramdan. When we talk about this subject, the Bhudan as it refers, Bhudan means that the land that is being granted. Gramdan, that is the villages that were being granted over there. This was a program that was being started in 1951. Vinoba Bhave, here you can see the image of Vinoba Bhave that is there. The Vinoba Bhave, who was a great disciple or a devotee of Mahatma Gandhi, he wanted to carry forward the policies of Mahatma Gandhi ji. One of the such policies was Gram Swaraj, which means Gram means village, Swaraj means that they are becoming self-independent. And so Vinoba Bhave with a troop of people was going to different kinds of villages and spreading the message of Gandhiji on foot. Pad Yatra, that means on foot he was going. In such a procession, he reached at a place known as Pochampalli in Andhra Pradesh and addressed some of the poor peasants who demanded, as they were landless villagers and they were poor, so they demanded some land for their economic well-being. Vinoba Bhave said that he would not promise but carry forward the problems of the landless peasants to the existing government. But in their troop only, there was a person known as Sri Ramchandra Reddy, who was quite wealthy, and so he donated 80 acres of land to 80 landless villagers or the peasants, means 1 acre of land to 1 landless peasants. This act came to be known as Bhudan and carried forward at many places in the country. The zamindars and the owners of many villages granted pieces of land that came to be known as Gram Dan. As the donation was being given, there was no bloodshed for giving the land to the landless farmers, so it came to be known as the Bloodless Revolution. Then, the contribution of agriculture to the national economy. The contribution, as you can see over here, the contribution is very less. Here you can see the contribution that is being mentioned. The contribution is quite less in the GDP. It is just 3.2, whereas the industries is 7.4. So it means what? The contribution is very less in the GDP, and so to increase the contribution, the government had made some kinds of planning. What they implemented? They said that they will start the establishment of the Indian Council of Agricultural Research, that is ICAR, agricultural universities, veterinary services, animal breeding centers, horticulture development, research and development in the field of meteorology and weather forecast. Though the GDP rate is increasing over the years, it is still not generating sufficient employment opportunities in the country. The growth in agriculture is decelerating. It means it is going down. And so we find that at many places the Indian farmers are committing suicides over there. Here you can see. Then what are the problems that the Indian farmers are facing? The first problem, the Indian farmers has to face a big challenge from the international competition, and our government is going ahead with the reduction in the public investment in agricultural sector, particularly irrigation, power, rural roads, market and mechanization. Second thing, subsidy on fertilizers is decreased, leading to increase in the cost of production. When we talk about subsidy, subsidy means some kind of a concession that is being given to the farmers to purchase any kind of implements. Third, reduction in import duties on agricultural products have proved detrimental to agriculture in the economy. Detrimental, that means the biggest reason over there. Therefore, farmers throughout the whole country are withdrawing from the agriculture and they do not want to take up this kind of a occupation. Then comes the impact of globalization on agriculture. Globalization has impacted in the 19th century when the European traders came to India. Indian spices were exported to different countries of the world and farmers were encouraged to grow these crops. Even today, it is one of the most important export items from India. You might be remembering Indian spices that are present in southern India like Kerala, Tamil Nadu and many such places. They are world famous. During the British period, the cotton belts of India attracted the British and ultimately cotton was exported to Britain as a raw material for their textile industries. The Champaran movement was related to it only. This was started because farmers of that region were forced to grow indigo on their land because it was necessary for the textile industries which were located in Britain. Under globalization, particularly after 1990, the Indian farmers have been exposed to new challenges that were, despite being an important producer of rice, cotton, rubber, tea, coffee, jute and spices, our agricultural products are not able to compete with the developed countries because of the highly subsidized agriculture in those countries. In many of the foreign countries like America, there good amount of subsidy is given in agriculture. But in our country, the public investment, that is the government, is now giving less amount of subsidy. To make agriculture successful and profitable, proper thrust should be given to the empowerment of the condition of the marginal and small powers, improvement of the condition. What kind thrust means? More emphasis should be given so that the condition of the marginal and small farmers would become more better. The Green Revolution, second, the Green Revolution promised much, but it is being alleged that it has caused land degradation. Yes, due to the pesticides and chemicals that were being used over there. So what will be the alternate? That would be the Green Revolution. When we talk of the word Green Revolution, it means what? It is an application or the method of biotechnology in food production. It is of great potential to farmers as it provides them with disease-free planting material and develops crops that resist pests and the diseases. It reduces the use of chemicals that harm the environment and human health. It was basically started in 1990, soon after the Green Revolution. It came up in India, South Africa, Argentina, Brazil and China. The main advantage was that they would improve the yield per hectare, enhance nutritional value, longer shelf life would be there, and resistance to drought, frost or insect pests. In fact, the organic farming is much in vogue today because it is practiced without factory-made chemicals such as fertilizers and pesticides. Hence, in does not affect environment in a negative manner. The Indian farmers should diversify their cropping patterns, means a variety of crops would be grown from cereals to high value crops. When we talk about high value crops, it means those kinds of crops that are it will successful that will lead to a successful economy over there. This will increase income and reduce environmental degradation simultaneously because fruits, medicinal herbs, flowers, vegetables, diesel crops like jatropha and jojoba need much less irrigation than rice or sugarcane. So such kinds of crops should be promoted. And another point, that whatever the diverse climate of India is there, it should be harnessed to grow a wide variety of high value crops. Harness means it should be taken into consideration and should be utilized in such a manner that these kinds of crops can be grown. Organic agriculture will adapt to climate change more quickly. That is why organic agriculture is being promoted. Thank you all for listening patiently about the lecture